OpenAI's Sam Altman launches Worldcoin crypto project. Worldcoin, a cryptocurrency project founded by OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, launched on Monday this past week. The project's core offering is its World ID, which the company describes as a digital passport. We know how much we love those, to prove that its holder is a real human, not an AI bot, which is a valiant effort, I agree. But I think this is still kind of sketchy to me. To get a World ID, a customer signs up to do an in-person iris scan using WorldCoin's orb, a silver ball approximately the size of a bowling ball. Once the orb's iris scan verifies the person is a real human, it creates a World ID. Now, what I don't get also, if they have to show up to do an in-person iris scan to prove that they're a real human, can't just being there in person as a real human prove that you're a real human?
Secret invasion. What I tell you, scrolls like Disney's been telling us.
Well, okay. Hear about this. Hear me out. This is how I'm seeing it. Right. We started with our iPhones, right?
Right.
And then at some point we put our thumb there. And then
everything.
And we worked our way to our face, and I feel really comfortable. Why not an iris?
It's oh my gosh! I don't even. I like.
Oh, now we're Amazon. We do palm too. So
yeah. I still type in my numeric password into my iPhone. So I don't know. Maybe I'm a holdout.
Tracking your skin and marks, so it is unique. Yeah. But yeah, hey, leave a comment below if you would get your iris scan. Let us know. But a fisherman.
I don't know. Like to me, one, there's no way. Like, well, even then, I say that. Like,
let's talk about it.
I feel like, my dad probably, I can almost for sure he doesn't have the facial ID, right? He definitely probably puts in it. I think he just got an iPhone like maybe a couple years ago. Like he had been, out of iPhone stuff for a long time, but like he may have the thumbprint. But like I do think that like my parents, like they would see this, like the ideas and this stuff and just be like, nah, like this is just weird. Screw it. Our generation, I feel like, is like we're okay with some things as long as we feel we're still in control, right? Like we feel, even though we do the face scan, even though we do the thumbprint, whatever it may be, unless somebody like beats us and then uses our face or whatever to get access, we still have control of that. We still feel that privacy. And I mean, obviously, I guess now the idea would be like, well, somebody had to rip your eye out, to scan this thing or whatever. And
they could do that too. You ever seen
Minority Report? You don't even have to.
Right.
You could just get somebody in a chair.
But there's still the privacy, like, okay, that's still somewhat secure. I understand why there's tons of people lining up to get it. They're like, all right, you already scanned my face. You've got everything from me. You know everything about me.
I already got it.
I just want the airdrop or whatever maybe comes from, signing up to this early. I want to be early and benefit from it. But I will not be. I mean, what is the benefit too? Are people getting a free airdrop of WorldCoin by doing it?
The idea is this: after you sign up, this thing, or globalizes or go international, they airdrop you coins. So essentially their targets are mostly poorer countries, it seems like. So they're trying to get all these people online, get everyone to have, I'm thinking, a new one world currency kind of situation. And I don't know, because then it's like liquidity, what are we buying? And there's all of these things. In a lot of countries, people don't just all walk around with iPhones and just internet everywhere. So what, you're going to scan your eye on there? I don't understand, but it's happening. I think it's going to happen.
And it's in the United States, or is this just
everywhere? Every major city, I think.
Yeah, I think I read that they've so far have put it out in 35 different cities across like 200 different or 20 different countries. Not 200, obviously that'd be too many. Yeah, it was like 20 different countries and like 35 plus cities or something like that. And that's expanding. They're trying to grow that with volunteer teams and some paid teams, I'm sure, as well. But I want to say for the people that tune in after the live show that you definitely have to make it for the live show, because these live comments are pretty hilarious. We've got Joe Polney. What's going on? He says, step 1, pay a bunch of homeless people to scan their iris. Step 2,
profit?
Question mark. I mean, I think it's probably more of an exclamation point. I think.
This data,
at least they're going to profit.
They're probably getting some form of data out of scanning these people's eyes. Like I have no idea what it is. Just like there's definitely an agenda, but there's always an agenda behind it. These people aren't just creating this stuff because it's funny. If he thought it was funny, he'd been like, scan your ear, right? No, it's like scan your eye. It's like there's definitely got to be a meaning, and a reason for that. Sam Altman is the Antichrist.
Well, because I think this plays into like social credit system, right?
Yeah.
They're doing this in China, so this ain't fake.
I was about to say,
they're doing it right now. They got government billboards. You do something wrong, I don't know the example, but let's say you jaywalk, you didn't pay a bill or tax or parking ticket. They'll put you up on a screen and people can publicly shame you and go to your house. There's all the data is there. And then if they do the thing with your eye retina, you might not even be able to spend your money at a store once you walk in, and they're like, he got bad social credit, no good here. And that's really happening.
Yeah,
Right?
that is scary. And that's the reason why, like, when I heard about the Worldcoin, like the first thing that pops into my mind is just like, man, like where the world is going, I really hope we veer off that track and I don't know. The thing is, like, it doesn't seem like there's many good people out here in the world creating alternatives that can actually beat it. It's kind of, I don't know why. And that's the reason why it is interesting though to see how many people are lining up to just do this. It's like
line fools in Asia, it looks like.
But part of me also does wonder, is that, is it
propaganda, marketing?
Yeah, did they hire a bunch of people to go stand in lines just to make it look busy? Is that, is it true? You also have to, with today's, social media and fake news and all this stuff, you really do have to question everything you see online if it's actually legit or not.
That's the attempt. Is a proof of humanity concept, which isn't necessarily a bad idea.
Create a problem, sell the token. That's a solution. That's true, because we didn't have AI like this.
Absolutely. Let's read the rest of this article. Yeah. I mean, right here it says, blockchains can store the world IDs in a way that preserves privacy and can't be controlled or shut down, blah, blah, blah. At least so they say. However, the project says world IDs will be necessary in an age of generative AI chatbots like ChatGPT. So you're absolutely right. We create the thing, and then we go, oh, it's going to be necessary now because this thing exists, which produce remarkably human-like language. World IDs could be used to tell the difference between real people and AI bots online. Altman told Reuters Worldcoin also can help address how the economy will be reshaped by generative AI. Quote, people will be supercharged by AI, which will have massive economic implications, he said. I mean, this is super interesting. I mean, we can keep going.
Let's keep going.
One example Altman likes is universal basic income, a topic that we've discussed regularly on this program, or UBI, a social benefits program usually run by governments where every individual is entitled to payments because AI, quote, will do more and more of the work that people do now. Altman believes UBI can help to combat income inequality since the only real people can have world IDs. It could be used to reduce fraud when deploying a UBI. So, I mean, to me, this seems like whether it's Worldcoin or some other project, this does seem to be the path that's going to happen one way or the other.
I mean,
CPAs, all of it.
Altman said that he thought of a world with UBI would be very far in the future, and he did not have a clear idea of what entity could dole out the money, but that Worldcoin lays groundwork for it to become a reality.
There will have to be, no matter if it's CBDCs, universal basic income, whatever it is, to get these payments to people. Like, there will have to be some way to verify that they are real, they are human.
Well, the pilot was COVID. Let's keep it real.
I mean, I would say that definitely
they did it.
They definitely want. I think they wanted to see how easy it could be to get payments out to everybody, and obviously they saw that it was not as easy as they.
They have everyone's tax ID numbers or social security numbers. They can just send.
I knew a lot of people though but I knew a lot of people, a lot of friends that when I was getting because just the way we did our taxes, like I was getting it easy, but based on different states, like people who lived in Indiana versus Kentucky, which is where we were at during the time, like they weren't actually getting theirs, and they had a lot of hiccups. So it was easy for some people and harder for others based on where you lived in the States. That's where something like Worldcoin and like having this, single, almost like a number created once you go scan. I mean,
your eye,
and the thing is, it's like, and this is, I guess, the fear I have is like, if they want it to happen and they create this new, universal income or one in currency for the world or whatever it may be, that people have to either get with, like, the thing is, if you don't get with it, then you get X'd out. Like, that's the thing. And before, it's like cashless societies, like you could opt out of, all these things and just use cash. But if they get rid of that and everything is digital and stuff, like it becomes very hard to opt out, quote unquote. So that's what gets scary.
It does. Let me play the opposite, because what I also see is the opposite effect is that we're actually just giving away more because, the eye is the key to the soul, right? So have anyone's ever scanned their eye on something? I would say no, right? And that thing is really sensitive with information and light. So I think this is the phase of like, if you don't scan, you're not a part of the new system, basically. Where it's like, because if they do scan you, they can actually clone you on the AI with generative AI because they have your eye. That's I think the whole thing that they're doing. They're like, give me your eye now. You are not a real person.
Yeah, that'd be. I
The
don't know.
homeless
I mean,
people smart if they don't do. If you homeless out there, don't do it. You're
yeah.
free.
We've got Fisherman Algo here with a pretty good point, actually. And shout out them, shout out NF Domains being a great
Shout out to
sponsor of the
NF
program.
Domain.
Check out the link in the description down below to learn more about that. But Fisherman says people are already selling their accounts, though, so it seems to be a broken system. If I can buy 10 world IDs and be 10 people, the system is effed, as he put it, which
Yeah.
Interesting.
I agree. I've seen reports of people selling their accounts on Telegram, just
How do you
selling
sell
their
an account?
I don't really know, but
Yeah.
I'd imagine it's a similar way as people sell their Twitter accounts. You see these Twitter accounts that build up a following, they get verified and whatnot, and then they sell them to scammers. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's probably a similar method.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, no matter what gets created, there's always going to be some way to like kind of
Scam.
circumvent it,
Yeah.
scam it, bot it, all those things. And it's
Yeah.
funny, like even reading that article, it's like it is needed though to limit and get rid of all these scammers and bots and these fake accounts, because I mean, heck, I remember 5-10 years ago, before when Facebook was it, and there was no Chat GPT and AI sucked, and I'd still see people arguing in the comments with what you could clearly tell was a bot account. Like you're literally arguing with a robot, my man. Like stop, he's not voting in your party lines. Just give it up already. But it's getting harder now with Chat GPT, like to actually know if you're talking to a real human being or not. And so I don't know, that's a lot of stuff that we're that I guess we're just gonna have to deal with over the next 5 years, is all this AI, people question, I guess, if they're real, like the lady on the plane. Who knows?
That mother back there is not real.
Maybe Twitter needs to team up with WorldCoin, because that Twitter verification system is not working.
Yeah,
no. Like, no, this is crazy. Mr. Joker got some good points. The incentives are happening. We love airdrops and stuff for sure.
Yeah, they're priming us. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's building us up to just want to be rewarded for not doing anything, but enough to keep people happy, right? And that's the scary thing.
Now, I mean, not to end on a too scary of a note, but Vitalik Buterin wrote this great essay the other day. It's quite long, but it's titled, "What Do I Think About Biometric Proof of Personhood?" I'm not going to go through the entire thing, of course, but I did highlight his concerns right here. And I do want to just read through them real quick and see what everyone thinks. So what are the major issues with WorldCoin's construction? Vitalik believes there are 4 major risks that immediately come to mind. 1, privacy. The registry of iris scans may reveal information. At the very least, if someone else scans your iris, they can check it against the database to determine whether or not you have a world ID. Potentially, iris scans might reveal more information. The second concern being accessibility. World IDs are not going to be reliably accessible unless there are so many orbs that anyone in the world can easily get one. The third point being centralization. The orb is a hardware device, and we have no way to verify that it was constructed correctly and does not have backdoors. Hence, even if the software layer is perfect and fully decentralized, the WorldCoin Foundation still has the ability to insert a backdoor into the system, letting it create arbitrarily many fake human identities.
Hey, Sam Bankman-Fried showed us that, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
absolutely. And the fourth concern here could be security. Users' phones could be hacked. Users could be coerced into scanning their irises while showing a public key that belongs to someone else. And there is a possibility of 3D printing fake people that can pass the iris scan and get world IDs. I mean,
that's something.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, it's very interesting because a lot of people have been reporting this essay as like Vitalik has like a scathing negative opinion on WorldCoin, but most of this is actually in agreement with the concept of proof of personhood, and just mainly criticizes the way they're going about it, but not full-heartedly. He basically says it's not fully wrong, but it should work in tandem with like 2 other approaches, basically.
Well, what happened to being a human? When I grew up,
well, we're trying to prove that right now with WorldCoin. Are you a human?
I used to just pull up like, "Hey, how you doing? Ma'am, sir."
Scan this iris, please.
Yes, are you a human? So I don't know. It's like this is crazy.
Joe even has another good point. Says you only need to do the scan once, and it links to the private key on your phone. This makes it easy to sell, and means if you get your key stolen, you basically get your identity stolen. I was even thinking about this too. It's like,
wow.
like that was the whole thing that my parents always worried about, like, you know, making sure like whenever they helped me create a bank account when I grew up and, you know, storing information. It's like, you know, you got to really protect this because you don't want your identity to get stolen. And that never happened to me, but I definitely, being in a bank and working for a credit union for 7 or so years, I saw it happen tons of time where people would get their entire bank accounts depleted. Like, you know, all kinds of bad stuff could happen. Loans opened up in their name that they never did. And it's like, you think about that nowadays, and it's like, that just still shows me how early we are to all this, and why this thing will probably be a fad that comes and goes, and it's not going to be anything big, because like it has to be legit for it to actually make it mainstream, because it has to be easy to use for, you know, your everyday person,
Well, here's
and it has to be secure enough.
Here's a new orb right here.
Yeah.
You just get Microsoft to do an Apple, and then we all could do it. Right?
Yeah.
That's what they wanted to do.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure that, and that's the thing. It's like, I'm sure they'd be able to do it and just, you know, add it to a feature of the camera on the, you know, newest iPhones and whatnot, just like the face, you know, facial recognition. You just got to move your face around. You just got to, you know, hold it super close to your eye. You know,
but I think it's a fad too, because it's like, for one, we don't even have crypto, is not even global.
Yeah.
So in blockchain, digital ledger technologies, distributed ledgers, not global yet.
Yeah, this is definitely just experimenting. It's having fun with it. It's a guy who created something cool in ChatGPT and started an entire type, you know,
another one.
Copycats of it now are being created, and better ones. And it's him taking the popularity, the platform he had, and knowing that like whatever I create next is going to make headlines. I can make a ton of money. I guarantee he's making a ton of money on WorldCoin.
Well, look at this. I mean, this is one of the things I want to dissuade people from being too hyped about WorldCoin. Even if you don't want to get your iris scanned, but you want to play along and trade the token, 1% of the token is distributed right now. The circulating supply is 1%, which means they still have 99% of the tokens to still come into the market and dilute the price. And not only that, but it has almost a $22 billion fully diluted market cap already.
Yeah.
Maybe he's doing a coup. He's about to do he's going to one coin a billion people and then do the full distribution of decentralization.
I mean, that's the idea, but personally, I don't see how you got to try to do that before the token goes live, in my opinion, or else the early people getting it, when there's only, you know, right now, if it was supposed to be, it's not, but if it was supposed to be one token per one person, there's 100 million tokens out in the wild currently. There's billions of people. So now those early 100 billion people are waiting for other people to get their billions more people to get theirs and dump it onto the market, onto the early holders. It's a terrible design, honestly.
Got a good point too.
You just watched a clip from episode 64 of The Next Block. If you enjoyed this clip, smash that thumbs up button and consider subscribing to the channel. Also, to support the podcast even further, check out the video description down below for links to our sponsor as well as our Algorand wallet address. Donations are greatly appreciated and they help keep this channel afloat. Lastly, if you enjoyed the clip, let us know down in the comments below what your favorite part was, and also let us know who you want to see on as a guest. Thank you to all our fellow watchers, and we will catch you in the next video. Thanks.